It's a Monday. I'm not a fan of Mondays, Mukai. I'm sure you know that.
Yes, and this
For
particular.
many reasons. For many reasons. But I have every reason to be upbeat about this Monday. I have every reason to be proud of us on the show. We'll come to that later. But of course, I remember you and I agreed. We seldom do that, though. We agreed on the fact that every team that faced Real Madrid all the way to this finals didn't have an answer to Karim Benzema and Vinicius Junior.
Yes.
Just didn't find an answer to it. And
And-
we're vindicated. Vinicius Junior makes it happen.
And Ancelotti said something this weekend. He said Liverpool were actually the easiest team to decipher.
Wow.
And when I think about it, he's
And
actually...
you can say, ouch.
Yes,
if you say
he's
that,
actually
Come
right.
on.
There's less dynamism in the way Liverpool play. They usually overwhelm you, so there's no time to figure out how to stop them. But Real Madrid were, because they're champions, because...
We'll come to that. If we start with that, we won't finish the show yet. Now, Jose Peseiro is Nigeria's Portuguese coach. Now, the Portuguese coach lost in his first game, but had many positives to take from the game. Super Eagles coach Jose Mourinho said they liked the response of his players in the second half and credited their desire and character in the game. Mexico pegged the Super Eagles back as early as 12 minutes as young attacker Santi Gimenez gave C3 the lead. Nigeria came out better and more alert in the second half and scored in the 53rd minute through Cyril Dessers before losing the parity 3 minutes later through an own goal. There were, however, positives to take from the game, according to the coach. The Super Eagles will next face Ecuador in another friendly game, with more players expected to have arrived camp, while the team is also expected to have had more training sessions. Now, Jose Peseiro says, first of all, whenever we criticize these guys, when they are doing well, let's praise them too. This is the first time in a long time Nigeria is having relatively grade A friendlies. First of all, it was against Mexico, and then it's against Ecuador. Next match. I think they should be congratulated for this one. At least they are doing what other sensible countries are doing, playing regular friendlies.
Yes.
That way our team can bond.
Yes, at this point, at this juncture with a new coach and with the need for new direction in philosophy and tactical setup for the team needs as many friendlies as it can get. And going up against more difficult opponents like Mexico, like Canada, the USA, these are the teams we need to fight for friendlies to get. We need to push ourselves. We need to be ready to compete at an international level rather than just set up the regular old foes of Ghana, Cameroon, and the
But
likes.
Peseiro said something, and I want to see what your opinion is on what he said. He said the reason why he was impressed by our second half display against Mexico is because, first off, Nigeria, Mexico, and even Ecuador play about the same kind of football.
Yes.
One. And then two, he says that the Mexican team are not big stars, but of course they've played together for so long. And we always tend to bring our own players from different places and put them together, and then we play against other people. And he says, well, just put them together. They didn't have enough training sessions. By the time we meet Ecuador, we would have enough training sessions. But would you agree with him that losing that game against Mexico, he still says his boys did well?
Half the battle is desire and dedication. And if the boys who haven't played together as long as the Mexican team are able to give enough energy, enough desire for the coach's assessment, then I think it's a good start. It's a good beginning to a long journey that we want to end in success and glory and trophies. So if desire is at the very beginning of this journey, then I think he already has a great clay to mold. Look at Manchester United. We've talked about how they've had stars this season, and yet they've fallen so far short. And the number one task that the new manager for them, Eric Ten Hag, is going to have on his hand is
Dedication.
building that dedication
That passion.
back. That passion, that desire, that pride in the badge. And if Peseiro already has that from a group of players who haven't played together as long as most of the best national teams in the world have. Then I think he already has half his job done for him.
He started the job running.
Yes.
Okay, so which means that all things being equal, I remember interviewing Taribo West many years ago. And Taribo, I was like, my question to him was, where a lot of journalists, with all our microphones in front of us and all that. And I was like, when in USA 94, when you hurt your head and they had a bandage on your head, you refused to go out. He was like, he would have been ashamed to his entire village that because of a scar on his head and a bandage on his head, he left the match. Like, he would be ashamed to ever go home to the village ever again.
I think
that's the passion.
I think we've seen that with other players, the Cannavaros, the Maldinis, the Chiellinis, even Van Dijk of this generation. These are the kinds of players that will
even N'Golo Kante
will not go out with a mere scar, a mere.
He had a big bandage, like a turban on his head.
It doesn't matter to these players. Oh, except now, we can admit that football has gotten softer now. A lot of things that would have been let go back then are considered fouls now. More reckless challenges are being taken out of the game. We still get some of them, but that passion, that as long as I'm still able to stand, as long as I can still see clearly, I'm not going off. And those are the kinds of passionate moments that we demand from our players.
That's what Super Eagles need. Yes. That's what Manchester United need.
Yes.
I've seen players in Chelsea. I've seen players in Liverpool. Most especially Liverpool. They're not injured. They're just taken out because the coach just feels like, let somebody else play. Let somebody else play. And you can see them actually sad. Actually feeling like, I can still do more. Ronaldo is the greatest culprit of that.
The only team in the world that I don't think has the character, that kind of character that we're talking about, and yet can still boast of doing well, is Man City.
Yes.
Because all of the players are practically pretty boys. Probably the last strong man in the team is Fernandinho, and he's leaving. So talent is more important in that team and Pep Guardiola has got them playing to his tune. He's the master of his orchestra. But if he's not there, a team like that could easily fall apart, which is why you need the kind of character that is built over time that we saw from Chelsea 2012 on a run to the Champions League final and win without an experienced coach, manager in charge of the team. That character was instilled in them from the days of Mourinho.
True that. Now, call us whatever you want. We honestly don't care. You can call us Mikhail the Nostradamus. You can call us Wale the Nostradamus. It doesn't matter really. But we are vindicated. And the celebrations continue on Sunday for Real Madrid after they became the champions of Europe for a record 14th time. Fans flocked to the traditional gathering point of the Plaza de Cibeles as the squad enjoyed an open-top bus parade. And there were also further celebrations in the Bernabeu, with players taking the acclaim before they did a parade with the Champions League trophy. Marcelo, as he prepares to leave Real, was at the center of them. Now, the last man who spoke now said, since 1987, this is the worst Liverpool fans he has ever seen. What will the fans have done? This was a very technical Real Madrid team.
The fans are the 12th man.
True that.
Modric said something after the game. He said, after Real Madrid scored that goal that was chalked off in the first half, he could see that the confidence was depleted from Liverpool. And that was just before the halftime break. And when they came back, the Liverpool we saw in the first half wasn't the Liverpool we saw in the second half. They lost the ball more. Real Madrid got into the game more.
I saw a Liverpool who initially started. It's the first 14, 15 minutes of the game.
Which is typical.
Klopp told them, attack. And then Real Madrid was doing, bring it on. Continue to come. Don't worry, it's fine. And they continued to soak it up till the end of the game.
They lived, to be fair, to be absolutely fair. Liverpool could and should have won that game. The first half was entirely theirs. The only thing that kept them out of the goal was Thibaut Courtois. There was no defensive solidity that was so fantastic. There wasn't a last-ditch effort by Militao to kick the ball off the goal line. It was all down to Thibaut Courtois. Real Madrid lived very much on the edge and were razor thin edge, and we're very close to falling off of it.
I've played football, not at that big level, but at least regular school football. And I know some players are just like a Okocha. Some players are just out of the world. Messi, Ronaldo, they think out of the box. Yes, the coach tells them what to do, but they still think out of the box. What's with Karim Benzema and Vinicius Jr. that makes them different? And then defenders, those just DMs and defenders don't just get them.
I think it's the combination of youth and experience. Benzema is in the prime of his career.
Like I told Lagbediri last week on the show, we played this on Saturday Sports Special. Karim Benzema came back from the dead. He didn't agree with me, but he's back.
Karim Benzema
somehow
is in the prime of his career, which is not typical for a striker past 30. Although Cristiano Ronaldo has scored more goals since he clocked 30 than he did before 30. So, but Benzema is still working just as hard as he has always done. And you have the willing runner of Vinicius, who everyone expected was going to be the next Neymar when his name came on the scene. He was flamboyant, capable of dribbling, and he's shown that. And the maturity he has achieved in the last year, where his finishing has been better, his first touch has been better, his ability to be in the right position to make the run off the last man when Benzema gets the ball, knowing that this experienced player is going to find him. It's the kind of partnership that any young player would thrive off, knowing that he's covered, having your back covered like that, knowing that you just have to run. You just have to work hard, and you just have to do that thing that makes you special. Dribble if it is, run if it is, whatever it is. This Liverpool team just couldn't cope with it. And I said before, Carlo Ancelotti said Liverpool were the easiest team to decipher. Because if you look at a Man City team, they will push your backs to the wall, and they don't mind because they can play in multiple ways. They can either, if you're playing a high defense, they will get behind you. If you're playing a low block, they will cut the ball back for someone to shoot on the edge of the box. So it doesn't matter. But with Liverpool, it's all running 100% of the time, 24/7, which means the only thing they want is to get beyond your defense.
We really have to go because it's a Monday and time runs very fast on Mondays. But like I said on Saturday, I was reminding you off air that I said it again on air. Like the film, The Mask, and the guy says, smoking. Somebody stop me. Yeah. Who is going to stop Carlos Alcaraz? He's only 19 and he's ditching old men with so much experience. Yes, I know it's clay. You always say that because it's clay, he's Spaniard, they learn to play tennis on clay. But that's not an excuse for this guy to continually embarrass.
The current crop,
this guy's 19.
A lot of the young crop of tennis players right now aren't very good anywhere else except in places where they're good at. Raducanu, we saw, hasn't played well on clay yet, but she's very good on grass.
True that.
Alcaraz is very good on clay. We're yet to see him give this
do grass. Let's say do grass. Yeah.
On grass.
But I'll leave you on the show today with highlights of the French Open. Before I quickly go, I can't let you go without this. Novak Djokovic has set up a matchup with Rafael Nadal in the French Open, Roland Garros.
Well, it will be interesting to see if Novak Djokovic can keep the rivalry going, considering Nadal is now out in front in terms of majors.
Okay, thank you very much, Mukael. Thank you very, very much, Tayo Ashubioju. He was behind the cameras. You can't see him. He makes you see us. Thank you very much, Dami. You always have my back. Thank you very much, Tony. Tony. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Onoja. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Debola De Blow. That's what I call him. And downstairs in the powerhouse, D1, Dayo. Thank you very much. Join us same time tomorrow, Plus Sports and Plus TV Africa. My name is Wally Scott. Like I always advise you at the end of every show, if not for anything, at least for your heart, do some sports. I leave you with the French Open highlights.